Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop. And I have just finished listening to Doctor Who, The War Doctor Begins, Volume 2, WarBringer. Pretty good. Pretty darn good. Okay, if you want the capsule review, pretty darn good. I'm going to say it's a recommend. I like this range. I'm excited to hear more of it. And for me, I think this was, generally speaking, successful. Not as good as the first box set for reasons that I'll go into soon. Actually, honestly, the reason that it wasn't as successful, it was much more ambitious. You do definitely feel the strong guiding hand of Louise Jameson behind them. I was going to say behind the camera, behind the microphone. That really makes this very, very good, because you can tell it's got a very, very clever director behind it, and you know, she just does an absolute fantastic job. Fine. Before we get into the review, can you hit the like button? Fan-dabby double dozy. Can you hit the share button? Fan-dabby double dozy. If you're on Rumble, hit the Rumble button, and if you're what other things are there? Sign up to my Substack. I forgot to do it in the last video. Sign up to my Substack. Like, share, subscribe. Substack, Rumble. Comment. Let me know what you think. And Merry Christmas. This is probably going out on Christmas morning. So listen, if you're lucky, you found this. You found this, under the tree in your stocking. And it's one of the better releases of Big Finish this month and this year. Okay, not one of the best, but one of the better. We see the problem on the front cover. The problem on the front cover is a problem that plagues this is a minor problem. There's a bigger problem, but it plagues every single Big Finish release, and that is they're very upset that women had fewer opportunities for them 50 years ago. Very, very upset about it. So to fix that, they're going to make every masculine character female, right? So one of the central characters of this is the WarBringer. Not the WarBringer. I can't remember what it is. The cyborgy-looking woman here who is super strong and cyborgy, here's the thing, I wouldn't call this release woke, right? And I would call something like Stranded woke, but I wouldn't call this woke. It's just that trope, which isn't, I think, inherently woke, is so overused, so incredibly overused, that I'm really, really, really sick of it. And like whenever I hear it, I'm always a bit like, oh god, enough. So you got that character, and you also got Tamazan in it, who's I think is very good. And then you got another what's the other character called? Virtually identical here. I'll look at the cast list. You have Tamazan and you have Tamazan and you have Veclin, right? Basically, they're the same. They're absolutely the same character. They are both again female, kick-ass, cynical, Gallifreyan warriors, right? Having them both in is just kind of stupid, because they're so freaking interchangeable, right? There's no character. There's no real character difference between any of them. And yeah, I tell you, the female characters are in Big Finish. They have become cardboard and two-dimensional, and it's really, really sad, because they really wanted to do the absolute opposite, which is so it's a bit of an own goal, that one. However, this box set is a pretty good one. It's one complete story, which I like in these box sets. I think this better have 3 parts. You get much more meaty story. However, the structure of the story is leads to some real confusion, which is a shame, right? Because I've actually listened to this twice to try and work everything out, and I haven't really. So it starts off in the middle. The episode 1, Consequences. Let's read the blurb. Well, let's read all the blurb. The Doctor No More. By the way, Jonathan Carey playing the War Dogs. Freaking incredible. Absolutely perfect, right? I really, really, really like his performance. It makes me feel like I'm listening to John Hurt, right? And just the same with Tim Treloar, makes me feel like I'm listening to a third Doctor story. This makes me feel like I'm listening to a War Doctor story. Yes, That really freaking works. And also the tone of it works as well. The Doctor no more. In his place, a warrior finally joining the time war between the Daleks and Gallifrey. But how far will he go to end the conflict? So this is a good one. You get to see him do some real morally complex stuff in this, which I really liked, right? More of that, the more the better. What lines will he cross? Pretty much any of them. that's the vibe we're getting. How much of himself will he sacrifice? Not as much as he made out, but quite a lot. The War Doctor is beginning to find out who he is. Okay, so part 1 by Timothy X Attack. This is the... if I'm ranking this, I'll put this at number 2, the number 2 slot. The War Doctor and Velkin crash on a ravaged planet on the fringe of the Time War. This world has its own battles raging elsewhere. A survivor works out how she came to be here, but these newcomers are harbingers of something terrible following in their wake. Yeah, so you dropped in at the end of the third part, right? You dropped in the middle of the story, and you have to kind of work out what's going on. The Doctor and Velkin, Vetlin, and this the third stranger who we're going to call Case. Basically that's the name they give her. They arrive, and it becomes very apparent very, very quickly they're from 24 hours in the future. In 24 hours, that planet is going to be destroyed. So there's quite a lot of interesting world building going on in this episode, where you got this planet which is really dedicated to war, where both sides are dedicated to war, and it feels a little bit like the CIA, Celestial Intervention Agency, has seeded this planet to make them useful. So the Doctor takes on the guise of their messianic figure, the WarBringer, the WarBringer of their scriptures. Now, also you have this person called Case who discovers that they got a voice in their head, and they got all these incredible cyborg battle component built in. So really, the whole episode is a journey to find out how they got there, who they are, and how they got there, right? And you don't really find out at the end. So the second episode, Destroyer, this is the weakest episode by Andrew Smith, and Andrew Smith is normally very, very, very reliable, but there's just so many plot threads going on, and because it's all, the time is all mixed up, the running order is mixed up, trying to keep an idea of what's going on and what and where everybody is difficult. And there's still a question I have. They find something hidden on the planet, and I get the feeling it's from something that happened in the third episode, which really takes place before the first episode. You getting the idea that this is quite kind of confusion? So, trapped on the world that worships war, the Doctor finds himself fueling an ancient prophecy. Could he be the WarBringer of legend? His new ally Case testing her abilities too, and both will be called on to fight when the Daleks come. So yeah, you do hear the Daleks. The Daleks are great. We like a bit of Daleks in this, right? It's not like Dalek Universe where there's no Dalek. No, this is all very warish, very Dalekish. And it's all kind of like all your favourite Dalek tropes, Daleks in hiding, Daleks in battle. I like all that stuff. Plus, they had some pretty good world building, as I said, going on in the third episode. So the third episode then goes back and is essentially mostly a flashback to see how they got there. Again, interesting, interesting story structure. This is the best episode of the three. It's by Jonathan Morris. I'm trying not to spoil it because while it's not fantastic, right? It's not. It could be just because it's a bit confusing. It's totally worth it. It's totally worth your time and money. The truth of how events on Tharis were set into motion is revealed on a mission to destroy a Dalek harvester vessel. That's really cool, right? There's lots of new inventive things that the Daleks do. You can mention the Daleks at war, right? And it's all that stuff's really cool. The War Doctor discovers a new breed of Dalek. So what you get is the War Doctor Vetlin, and he has a companion who is an Australian World War I army person. I'm trying to find his name. It's going to be Rondig. that sounds like the name from season 13, which I'm also going to do a review on in a minute. I can't remember, but the Doctor. It's like an interesting team with the Dr. Vecklin and this third guy. And so you get the like mid-story, and I would like to hear kind of him doing missions in the Time War. But that was a good lead into it. Knew we did Daleks to do whatever action he takes next will have consequences, and they are devastating for everyone. Yeah, because and the good thing is kind of like going in where this is going to end up, right? So there's a lot of real tragedy in it. Again, putting in Tamazan as well really confused things because functionally. And also, their performance-wise, very similar to Vecklin, right? Very, very, very similar to Vecklin. I do like this whole like extended cast of characters they're building up over the whole Time War period. But yeah, so look, this is a wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey type of story with Daleks in a Dalek war, doing Dalek-y things and fighting, and sounds like John Hurt's in it, but he's not. And the scripts are all pretty good. Everything holds together. I think it will hold better together if I just sit down and write notes on it. I'm not really prepared to do that. And I listen. I watch Basic Resurrections the same day, so there's only so. What do you want else me to do? Do you want to watch Ghostlight as well? What else? But yeah, look, this is in the top tier of releases for the year. For a year that's been a really bad year. I started looking through Big Finish, getting ready to do my year review. This has been a year where they have reaped what they have sowed, and you see next year they're going in a completely different direction. Next year they're going back to very traditional Doctor Who, trying to appeal to very traditional fans, which I think very traditionally have left them because they've gone. A little bit too much in a direction that I don't think many people were interested. This was a real step back to trying to please the audience, right? That's really what you got to do. Please the audience, not trying to please a tiny group of people who live on Twitter, if you're on Twitter, you think that's everybody, but not many people are on Twitter, mate. Not many people are indeed on Twitter. But yeah, so that was really the problem with Big Finish over the past year. Fine. So yeah, look, it's a recommend. Go check it out. Look, $17. Yeah, totally worth it. Absolutely, totally worth it. A fine addition to your collection. Oh, by the way, Nick Briggs is really good in this. As some of the Daleks, he's rolling his R's, getting some really great performances out. Yeah, look, overall, strong recommend. Great performances, great direction. Reasonably good scripts that were just a little bit too ambitious for their own good. I say good performance as well. Great sound design. Pretty good ideas behind everything as well. I'm just a little bit bored about having a stunning and brave warrior women fighting everything. It's just, how much more of this can anyone really have before you roll your eyes at every freaking turn, right? And it's like, it's so weird. The whole idea was to make things more, open up and have more female roles. It has made me far less accepting of female roles because it's normally done just for virtue signaling, as it probably was in this case. Other than that, pretty darn good story. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Like, share, subscribe, and what else? Whatever else you want to do. Merry Christmas, one and all.